So in this next video, we want to talk about participant training. So what's going to happen is the participant will come in, and when they're ready, you're going to show them a series of 8 videos. And this is video 1.
Hi there. Yes, you. Thank you for agreeing to work with the WINCART program. You, along with many others just like you, will be participating in a research study about your tobacco use. We call this study Technology and Smoking Behaviors Among Young Adult Pacific Islanders. Over the next 9 days, you will be asked to periodically complete a survey. Based on this data, we will then be able to design an online intervention program to help other Pacific Islanders. So, what do you say? Ready to start?
Now after watching this video, there's a step that may or may not happen. It depends on whether or not the study participant has an iPhone or a Droid, or whether they need to be provided with an iPhone by the project. If they need to be provided with an iPhone from the project, they're going to need to sign an iPhone release form. That just basically says that this is property that we're letting you borrow, but when you're done, you have to give it back to us so that we can give it to the next participant. After that, you're going to show them video 2. Now, video 2 is an instructional video that I'll show you in a second here that says how to use the iPhone. Obviously, if they've already got the iPhone, they probably don't need to watch it. So, you can kind of just start to play it, and if they want to skip a little bit because they know it, that's fine. This is an optional video.
Your participation in our study will officially begin with you meeting one of our staff. We will then give you an iPhone to borrow, or you will use your own to fill out some online surveys, as well as receive text messages reminding you to take these surveys. The iPhone is a touchscreen-enabled smartphone. To turn it on, click the button at the top of the phone. Then, swipe your finger across the bottom to unlock the main menu. You will now see a main page full of icons. In the top left corner of the screen is the 3G logo for the data network, letting you know if you are connected. If you are, you will be able to take a survey. If you are not, you may have to wait until you get better reception. In the top right corner of the screen is a small picture of a battery indicating how much charge you have left. When your battery gets low or appears red, plug your power cable into the phone and plug the other end into an outlet. This will charge the iPhone. You can turn off the iPhone by clicking the power button at the top of the phone.
Now, after video 2, we get video 3. And video 3 is not an optional video because it talks about how to log into the online system and complete a survey. So even though it starts out talking about how to use an iPhone app, and the participant may be like, well, hey, I know how to do that. I've got an iPhone, no big deal. Well, that's fine, but they need to watch the rest of this video so they see how the whole process works. So this one is required, whether they've got an iPhone or not.
Pressing an icon will load an app. For example, you can press the Notes icon to load the Notes app. In the Notes app, you will see the link to the WINCART online survey. You will also see the username and password that you will use to sign in and take the survey. By pressing the link, you will access the login screen. From here, you can touch the first field, type in your username, and click Done. Now touch the second field, type in your password, and click Done. Then press Login.
Now, regardless of whether the study participant is using their own iPhone or one that we provided to them, it's important to make sure that they take time to practice. So, what we want to have them do is we want them to take their iPhone and they're going to click the link in the Notes app. That's if we give them an iPhone. If we don't give them an iPhone, they're going to want to add that information into the Notes section of their iPhone or whatever device they're using that was described in the video so they can do this procedure. So They're going to click the link, the www.wincartsurvey.com link. They're going to sign in. During this sign-in process, if they're using their own phone, we're going to want to make sure that they click the settings so they don't have to keep logging in each time. If they can auto sign in, it'll help them out a lot. And after they sign in, they're going to close the web page and close Safari. That's it. That's really all there is to it. We just want to make sure they click the link, they sign in with their username and password. We want to make sure they do that so we know that their username and password works on their device. And then after that, they close the browser. Really simple. Should take only a minute. But we want to make sure that we actually have them do it so we're sure it's working and we're sure that they understand how to do that process. Now, after that, we're going to show video 4. Video 4 is, again, a required video, and it talks about how to take the survey.
When taking an online survey, you will want to hold your iPhone vertically. If you hold it horizontally, you may not be able to see the buttons at the bottom that will let you go to the next question. To answer a question, press the button next to a response. For some questions, you can also select multiple responses. Remember, we are not asking you to quit or to try to quit smoking. Rather, we want to collect information about your usual tobacco use. A few questions will ask you to type in information. To do this, touch the field and then use the keypad to type in letters. You can press the button at the bottom left of the screen if you want to type in numbers or symbols. If you make a mistake, you can press the back key at the bottom right of the screen. When you are done, press Next to go to the next question. Once you finish the survey, return to the main page by clicking the Main button at the bottom of your iPhone.
After video 4, of course, comes video 5. Video 5 is about text messages. This is another optional one. This one is not required if they've got their own phone, but if they have never used an iPhone before, we want to make sure they watch this video so they understand how text messaging works on the iPhone.
So, now you know some iPhone basics, and we're ready to start the study, right? No, not yet. There's still one more crucial area we need to cover: text messaging. When you get a text message, your iPhone will ring. You will then need to slide your finger across the message alert to open it up. The text message will have a link to the online survey. Just like before, you can press the link to start the survey. If you happen to be on the main screen of the iPhone when a text message arrives, you will need to press the text message icon. From there, you can open the message and press the link to the online survey.
At this point, the participant is going to watch video 6. So video 6 is a required video, and video 6 is about reminders and basically when they will get them. So when are they going to get text message reminders?
Several times a day, every 2 hours for 9 days, our survey system will send you a reminder text message. This text message will let you click a link and take a survey. The survey should only take a minute or two of your time. Before you get your first text, our staff will sign you up for 6 2-hour blocks of time in which you will receive these text messages. Once this is done, you can start filling out surveys on your iPhone.
Okay, 2 more to go. Second to last video is video 7. Again, a required video. And this video is about missing a survey. So, hopefully the participants won't miss surveys when they get their text message, and when they get the reminders, they will just fill out the survey right away. But of course, that may not happen. And so this talks about what happens if they don't respond to a survey despite repeated reminders. And it also talks about the point at which one of our EMA coordinators will contact them by phone.
Let's run through a typical survey. After opening up a text message and pressing the link, you will log in and see your first question. You will then answer each question until you reach the screen that says you are done. After that, you can go about your normal day until it's time for another survey. But what happens if you miss or ignore a text to fill out a survey? If you miss a text, our computer will send you another 15 minutes later. And then, if you miss that second text, another text will go out every 15 minutes for the rest of the hour. If you miss all 4 texts, our system will wait until your next scheduled survey time and then begin the cycle all over again. But if you miss another bunch of text and your second straight survey, a notification will go out to our staff. We will then call you to remind you to take the survey.
Okay, on to the last video, video 8. It's really short. It's just about contacting tech support. Now, if they're borrowing one of our iPhones, that information will already be there. And that's probably actually when they're going to need tech support the most. It's just when they're using a device they've never used before. So that's why the video talks about it from that perspective. But if they are using their own device, it's important for them to watch this, and then it's important for them to add in that tech support contact number afterwards, because even if they know their own device and how it works, they may still have trouble logging in, and in that case we're going to want to make sure they have the number of the EMA coordinator who's working with them so they can contact them and say, look, my device is fine, but I can't sign in. What do I do? So that's why this is a required video, even though the people who it's really going to be helpful for in most cases are the people who have never used an iPhone and are unfamiliar with it.
If at any point during the study you have a question or run into a problem, you can contact tech support for help. To do this, press Contacts on the main menu. Once you do, you will see a listing for Tech Support. Press Tech Support and then press the number listed. You will then place a call to our staff.
Following that, what's going to happen is you're going to set up 6 consecutive time blocks in which the study participant will receive text message reminders. Now, this was kind of talked about before in the video, but now it's time for the data collector who's working with the study participant in the field to actually set up those time blocks in the online data management system. So, let me walk you through how to do that. So let's assume that you've accessed the online data management system and you've located the particular participant that you're working with. And now you need to set them up for 6 consecutive 2-hour time blocks. The way you do that is after finding your participant and just checking out their participant information, making sure it's the right person, you go to Participant and you go to EMA Survey Time Blocks. So let's just walk through the fields here. First field you'll see is Tracking ID. That's assigned automatically by the online data management system. You don't have to worry about that. Second is Nickname. Then there's EMA Start Date and EMA End Date. Now, both of these fields should be filled out in advance by the EMA coordinator. What they're going to do is, if you meet with a participant on, let's say, a Saturday, they're going to set up 2 training days, that Saturday and the next Sunday, and then they're going to set up 7 days, a full week, of actually recording data. So let's assume the day you met with the participant is Saturday, March 24th. Now you want to have 2 practice days. That would be the 24th, that day itself, and the 25th. And then you want to have a full week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get a full week of data. And then that following Monday, the 2nd, that is the day at which text messages will stop. So EMA end date, what's important to note is it is not the last date on which they receive text message reminders. It's the day on which those text message reminders will stop. So if you want them to receive messages on the Sunday, the 1st, don't put in the 1st, put in the day after, put in the 2nd. Now, all of that information should be filled out for you already, so you don't have to worry about that. But I just wanted to talk about it so that you knew what was going on. The only thing you need to worry about in the field is these boxes. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select 6 consecutive boxes. And what's going to happen is that a text message reminder is going to be sent at the end of the time block. So for instance, let's say the participant said, the first time I want to respond to a message is at 10 a.m. Then you'd select the 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. time block. And at the end of that time block, a text message will get sent out right at 10 o'clock to the study participant on their iPhone or whatever device they're using. And it'll say, time for your survey, and there'll be a link to the online survey they have to take. Now, we want to capture a full 12-hour period, so we have to select 6 consecutive time blocks. So you might go like this. So this would mean that the participant is getting reminders at 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 a.m. 6 blocks in a row. Now, what we would like to do is we would like to set up these 6 consecutive time blocks in the training session that we meet with the study participant. And then what we'd like to do is keep them the same. We'd like to keep it the same for the weekday, and we'd like to keep it the same for the weekend. You can go in and change them, and so if a particular set of time blocks are just not working and a participant contacts the Emma coordinator and says, look, I need to change the time blocks, you can do that. You just, unselect one and select another. But we don't want to do that because we want to compare the data from the weekday, same times of the day, to the weekend, same times of the day, or whatever day it might be. So we have that capability if we absolutely need it, if there's no other way to get good data, but we prefer to get consistent data. So once we select these time blocks, the hope is that the study participant will stick to them for the entire 9 days, the 2 practice days and the 7 days of really logging data. So we enter all that information here, click Save. You'll see at the bottom, it'll say Saved, and you're done. And one other thing you're going to want to do after that, just to make sure our online data management system is working properly with the device that the study participant is using, is you're going to want to enter a message into here. A good message to send is www.wincartsurvey.com. You can send that to make sure that they can then get that link in their text message and click on it and access it through whatever device they're using. And you're going to want to click Send. And then you're going to see SMS sent successfully. And shortly after that, it may take up to a minute or so, but shortly after that, a text message will be sent to the device if everything is working properly. Now, if a text message does not arrive on the device that the study participant is using, go into Participant Information, check out the EMA phone number that's listed. You may need to change that. You may also need to change the service provider. Maybe it was originally selected as AT&T, and it needs to be changed to T-Mobile or Verizon or something along those lines. So those are 2 things to check. After you've made those changes, go back to EMA survey time blocks, and you can go in, send another message, just say test, for example. Send that. And once that is sent, you will see SMS sent successfully, and you'll be all set. So you just want to keep testing it out and make sure that the participant is getting their text message reminders, because that's probably the one most important thing that happens after they walk away, is that they get those reminders so they can then log in and complete the surveys. Now, very last thing you do is you provide final instructions. And it's really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to make sure that if the participant is borrowing an iPhone, that they know how to access all of these little training videos that were shown to them, so that if they have any questions, they can check that out. That and tech support, that accessing that contact number, that should be all they need to get through the study with no problem. You're going to let them know that the Emma coordinator will get in contact with them soon. And finally, you just want to make sure that they don't have any final questions. And once that is done, they will be set, and the study participants will be ready to go and fill out EMA surveys for 9 days.